My name is Abby Lovell. My name is Emily Lovell.
My name is Madeline I.
I'm Nathan Banky.
My name's Tim.
My name is Parker Lake. I'm a senior and I go to Lake High School.
I joined the Quizbowl team in 6th grade. So like the same 4 or 5 seniors, we've been together since 6th grade except for Parker who transferred in 8th grade.
Okay, my team consists of Abby Lovell and Emily Lovell. They're twin sisters.
They're this year's Lake High School valedictorian and co-valedictorian.
No, unfortunately we don't have any telekinesis. That would be cool.
Having twins on my team has definitely been an advantage to us, simply because my twins, Abby and Emily, are very competitive with each other.
Coach Pizzoli is always super fun. She's always supporting us.
She is fantastic. Like, she is a friend, a coach, a teacher.
She's been watching out for us since we were in her class 8th grade year. She's cared for us. She's kind of become like our mom in some ways. We can rely on her. We know that she's always there for us and helping us out.
At Lake, being a small school, we've got our finger in every pie. Like, we're playing 2-3 sports, we're in Quizbowl, we're in volunteerism, we're in band or choir.
I participated in football and wrestling.
Played golf, did cross country, cheerleading, track.
I'm a member of the Wood County Teen Court, Lake High School Students in Action, obviously the Lake High School Quizbowl team, and then also soccer and track. I don't know that it's common for an athlete to be on Quizbowl, but I mean, my sister, myself, and Nathan are all athletes, and it works well for us, so.
I guess I've never really thought about it being strange to be an athlete and a Quizbowl champion.
We don't have a lot of students to separate out your jocks and your geeks, and so we kind of do everything. I would say hands down Tim is the smartest person on the team. Tim is one of our top scorers. He is really tall and awkward looking. You wouldn't guess it, like looking at him. Oh yeah, Tim's really good at Quizbowl.
Oh my gosh, to watch Tim do math problems is absolutely crazy.
He can do math in split seconds and it's just incredible.
If there's ever a math question, I just usually kind of set my buzzer down and look at Tim. Oh yeah, like that.
I can do things pretty quickly in my head. I don't really need a calculator unless I'm doing like complex equations, you know.
If someone buzzes and answers the math question wrong, and it's not Tim, I'll definitely elbow them and tell them, you know, Tim would have had that. Come on, man. You know, you gotta josh people around.
Oh, the winky face? You know, it's just something that I started doing.
That's actually my winking face. He might claim that he invented it, but I started it. He just started following me.
I did the winky face because when you watch a show and do the head-to-head round, they zoom on your face way too long. It looks real awkward. So I figured, hey, why not make it a little more awkward?
So far as I can remember, the winky face was Nathan's idea.
But really, it was a personal mission of mine.
What process end of round? Let's take a look at our score. Seneca East with 190 points, and our winner with 220 points is Lake. Let's give both of these teams a huge round of applause.
I think that participating in this game is definitely a good thing for students. I think it gives us good competition, it's fun, and we get pizza afterwards, so yeah, I think it's a good thing.
I love doing brain game.
I think it's really fun, actually. I think it's a really neat experience.
It's different than anything else I do outside of school. Being filmed is somewhat uncomfortable, I guess, but the questions are so much fun that it's totally worth it.
Brain game is definitely an amazing part that they offer at the university to our community and getting high school students involved. 4 years we've been on the brain game, and my students have gone a little bit farther each year.
Making it to the finals this year is really cool because every year, like the first year we got out first round, and then every year we've gone up 1-1, and now we're finally in the finals. So it's cool.
We've been working at this for so long. Every year it seems we make it a little deeper into the tournament, and now we're in the finals, and it's our time to win.
I think we've got a pretty good chance of winning. We're a good team, and when we really get our heads in the game, we can do well.
We've been trying for 4 years, and we're just excited to be going to the championship. So yeah, we do want to win, but we also want to have fun. So
I have a really confident group of students that work extremely well together. And I feel like our season, everything's just kind of fallen into place.
I would like to be a brain game champion.
My hope is for my students to come out brain game champions so that they can encourage other students to want to be brain game champions in the future.
I'm not a trash talker.
Get ready, Riverdale. The lake's coming for you.
So look out, Riverdale, because the lake's coming at you.
Riverdale, watch out. Coming for you, ain't gonna hold back.
Lake, Brain Game Champions.
I'm Wyatt Thacker, I'm a senior and I go to Riverdale.
I'm Sam Thacker, I'm a sophomore.
I'm Andrew Borkowski, I'm a sophomore.
I'm Ben Borkowski, I'm a freshman.
I'm Aaron Lease, I'm a freshman and I go to Riverdale High School. I got into Quiz Bowl because I've always been a fan of history, and it's just fun. It's a game.
I saw Riverdale on Brain Game, and I was like, that's really cool. I want to do that.
My brother's one of the big reasons I'm in Quiz Bowl. I saw him doing it, and it looked like a lot of fun, so I thought I'd give it a try.
Our team consists of 2 sets of brothers, me and my brother Ben, Samuel and Wyatt Thacker, and Aaron is our dark horse.
Having brothers is definitely an advantage to our team because not only do we want to be better than our own brother, but we each want to be the better set of brothers.
It just lets us communicate faster. They know each other better, they live with each other, they understand what they're thinking.
Our sets of brothers, our coach compares us to each other. She says Wyatt and I are a lot alike and that Andrew and Sammy are a lot alike, and I will agree with that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird being the only non-sibling team member.
We're basically one family. Like, even though we're 3 different families. Aaron is in there too, so let's not forget about Aaron. We're basically one big family.
Our coach is Samuel and Wyatt's mother.
Great mentor, one of my role models.
She's always been a really strong supporter of us, and she's always been a really, really good coach and helped us along with what we don't know. And
I don't think Mrs. Thacker shows any favoritism at all.
And being my mom, she's always been a little bit harder on me, I would think.
She keeps track of how everyone answers and goes by that.
And so that's really helped me push me to the limits of my knowledge and knowing what I can know.
But she does a good job of energizing us or making us enthusiastic about trying to win.
She's trying to get us to answer at the right time, but she doesn't want us to answer too early.
She's working with us about when to answer questions, how to look for whether it's take a guess now or wait and see if it reveals something more.
Constantly practicing on the way to matches, when we have free time at home, constantly practicing.
When it comes down to it, she really cares about us too.
I couldn't have asked for a better coach. I think normally our school is considered an underdog because no one really knows much about Riverdale. We're the school in the middle of cornfields is how most people refer to us.
It's satisfactory to win something this big and know that it was just kind of all our intelligence.
I think it's amazing that us from a really small school have been able to pull it together and get all the way to finals.
Actually, Riverdale has gone to Brain Game Finals one other time, and coincidentally, it was my eldest son, Christopher's senior year.
I'm Chris Thacker, and I'm a senior.
I think it's pretty special because it's something he got to do his senior year, so something now my senior year I get to follow in his footsteps.
Actually, I think both of the brothers on this team probably get tired of hearing, you know who would have known that question? Your brother Christopher.
If we were to win, I think my brother would be really proud. He's been a really strong supporter of us, but there would be a little bit of gloating involved because, you know, you have that up on him.
I love Brain Game because we are just the nobodies from Riverdale in the middle of a cornfield.
We get to go on TV, our friends watch it.
I think that one of the biggest values of Brain Game for my team has been the support that they've gotten out of their community. They don't go anywhere without somebody mentioning that they saw them. And it's pretty exciting.
Of all the different quiz bowl competitions we do, I like Brain Game the best because of all the range of different categories that you get and the harder questions that you get that make you really think.
Brain Game is great for students because it's a change up from the year. Especially like around here, there's lots of different formats, so it kind of helps you with all of them because you get to, each round is different.
Brain Game absolutely asks the academic questions that when we're leaving, if they don't know it, I say, look that up, that's something you should know. Not just for Quiz Bowl, but Quiz Bowl teaches them things that they should know in life.
Sometimes when we have free time in the evening, my family will pull up old Brain Game episodes and try to beat each other. Or like when we're over at our grandparents' house, we'll pull them up and try to see who's smarter.
I'd never really been to a TV station before, and
it's very exciting to go to a TV station.
A surreal experience.
When I was sitting out, I was on the bench and I was just watching everyone do their work, and I'd never realized how much work went into it.
To film ourselves and be on TV and have a whole lot of people see us, it's really kind of an odd feeling, but it's interesting. It's a cool experience.
When you go on the show, everything's a whole new level because you might not see everyone watching, but it's being filmed and you know that whatever you do, it's going to be shown to everyone you know.
And it lets them shine in front of the entire Northwest Ohio community. It's a really awesome thing to give these kids.
Coin end of round. Let's take a look at our score. We have Findlay with 165, and our winner with 280 points is Riverdale. Let's give both these teams a big round of applause.
Being as young as our team is, I didn't really expect getting to the finals of Brain Game.
I am fairly new to Quiz Bowl coaching, but I've been a Quiz Bowl mom for a very long time. So pretty proud to be the mother and also to be an active part of what's going on. So
it's really pushed us to know that we can do more and we can do better than we ever thought we could.
Oh yes, I want to win. I want to win.
I definitely want to win. I mean, not just a bargaining chip over my older brother. I mean, it'd be really special to win my senior year. I really wanted to go out on a bang.
I'd like to win for not only my family, because they've been a big support of me and my brother doing this, I also like to win for the school.
I don't think we'll need too much trash talk because I think everyone knows how great we are already.
Riverdale, Brain Game Champions 2017.
Riverdale, Brain Game Champions 2017.
Who's coming out number one?
We are.
Who's coming out number one?
We are just a normal school. We're just, just a few kids, and we're not really special in any real particular way. We didn't pay thousands of dollars a year to go to this school. We've had no special training.
In cases like these, when we play in big schools, I could see us being called underdogs, but the mentality that we try to have is that we're not underdogs, we're equal with them, or we're even better.
We're kind of a small school. We don't really get much recognition for stuff in this state, so.
I feel like our team's like a well-oiled machine in a way where we all have different strengths and all of our knowledge comes together kind of like a puzzle to form our team and what we know, and I feel like we're going to have a lot of success because of that.
We have that chemistry down where we know, well, if I don't know it, he might know it. If he doesn't know it, no one knows it, so move on. And we've learned as a team that if we don't know it, just move on to the next question and let that one be.
Well, there's always a curve here and there, especially on a tough show like this, but I think they're as prepared as they can be.
If I had to pick a round, I'd say the brainstorm round is probably our best as a team. Just something about the last round, it's up to this. Always come in clutch and we use it to win.
Something about coming back halfway in the game. We always just recuperate from most of the time losing in the first few rounds and then coming back really strong and just decimating them in the last two.
I think the category round definitely going to be the fiercest competition throughout the match.
Because we're usually really level-headed in that round, and we know what we're good at, and we know what we might not be as good at.
Definitely, we have to be cautious because you can lose points just as easy as you can gain them. So I think we can, especially just as you throw away the game there, as we can win it.
Yeah, I'd say the image category has been really good for us.
The picture round, I think I did pretty well on.
One of the categories was baby animals.
That would be Riverdale. Wyatt.
A joey.
A joey, yes.
A fawn.
A fawn, yes.
A foal.
A foal, yes.
It was, one, fun to look at the baby animals, and two, Wyatt was getting those almost every time.
Our weakest round is usually the first or the second because we just aren't warmed up yet.
If my team has a weakness at times, it is deciding a little too quickly on what they think the answer is.
What I'm most worried about is if we are behind by a little and we start to panic, then we think that we have to buzz in too much and we'll start losing points.
The questions, they normally have what we call the breaking point, where in that point in the question, you know what the answer is. We've been doing a lot of practice questions to try and locate that breaking point.
We try and gauge the question on how it's going to play out in the rest of the question, whether it's going to give a big reveal a couple phrases down, or whether it's going to remain vague and we should just take a guess now.
As a viewer, I think, yeah, you will be able to tell when we find that breaking point and when we're looking for it. Our adversaries probably will be too, and it'll be fun to see and watch.
I had a lot of theoretical strategies when we headed into the quarterfinals and the semifinals, but what I found was the boys were playing it even smarter than what I had suggested. In the semifinal game, they continually picked a round that was asking sports questions, and they were sports questions that they did not know. And I could not understand from the audience what it was that they were doing. And then I realized they were ahead, and they knew the other team also did not know them, and so it appears to me that they were killing a little bit of time. Never thought of that strategy.
I'm definitely confident that we have a good chance of winning, and I feel that we're going to win based on our recent successes in our local leagues and our local competitions at home.
Oh, I'm definitely psyched for today.
Oh yeah, I'm psyched. I'm ready to go.
Nervous, but it doesn't really help. We have our nervous, so yeah. Now we're just making plays.
Yeah. Our number one goal as a team is to have fun.
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
Pretty much every time.
Yeah.
For brain game, we have Tuesday practice, and it's really just knowledge you built up through your whole life. So it's just paying attention to things. Like, we'll hear questions, and for some reason we know the answer and we couldn't even tell you. So it's not always for us hitting the books and studying. It's just paying attention in your life.
I think this team that we have, we're very experienced. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses. We're not selfish, like saying like, oh, I want to do this category, but really someone else will do a lot better with a different category.
As a team, the category round is probably our strongest because our students all know each other's strengths and weaknesses and can work together.
We score with a really high efficiency, and points can swing very easily in the category round.
That is where we get a lot of our points.
Our weakest round as a team is our head-to-head round because we really play well off of each other. So when we're singled out, it makes it more difficult.
Also, in the brainstorm round where we can lose 20 points, that can be pretty bad if we make some big mistakes.
My strategy as their coach is to make sure that they're all in attendance on match day and that everybody's off work and not competing in another sport or volunteering or somewhere other than with me, ready to participate in the match.
The 5 of you have been incredible to work with over the past 6 years. So proud of all the accomplishments that you've made for Quiz Bowl and everything else that you guys do in your lives. Every one of you impresses me daily with your work ethic and your drive to do good, and not only for yourselves, but for your community.
1, 2, 3, go!
Go Flyers!
I absolutely think that they're going to win the brain game this year. They're due.
Coming up next, students from Riverdale and students from Lake compete in the biggest, baddest brain battle of them all. That's right, BGSU's Brain Game, the finale, starts right now. And welcome to BGSU's Brain Game, the finale. Students from Riverdale taking on students from Lake. Only one will leave our champion. We start things off as we always do with our toss-up round, but before we do that, let's stop and meet our teams. Going to start to my left with Lake. Abby, introduce yourself and your team.
I'm Abby Lovell. Next to me is Tim Nighthawk Recker. And then Nathan Robert Banky the first and my sister Emily Lovell. We are all seniors.
All right, welcome to Lake. And now to my right, Riverdale. Wyatt, introduce yourself and your team.
I'm Wyatt Thacker. I'm a senior. Next to me is Samuel Thacker. He's a sophomore. Next to him is Andrew Bukowski. He is a sophomore as well. And at the end is Aaron Lease. He is a freshman.
All right, and welcome to Riverdale as well. Riverdale, Lake, good luck. Toss-up round, championship starts right now. The number of elements in the union of set A and B is 14. The number of elements in set A is 9, and the number of elements in set B is 12. How many elements are in the intersection of sets A and B? Lake, Tim.
7.
7 is correct. When scientific principle that bears its discoverer's name states that an object immersed in a fluid is buoyed up by a force equal to the weight of the displaced fluid, what is it? That would be Lake. Abby.
Archimedes' law?
Can we accept that? We can accept that, yes. Often found at the front of each chapter of a textbook as a bulleted list, these learning goals give, that would be Lake. Emily.
Objectives?
Objectives is correct. When an architect designs a building such as auditoriums, amphitheaters, and libraries, which science of sound that begins with the letter A, that would be Lake. Nathan.
Acoustics.
Acoustics, yes. A deep gully cut by a stream that flows only part of the year. This term is usually used in desert areas. Identify this Spanish, that would be Lake. Abby.
Oasis?
Incorrect. This Spanish noun that begins with the letter A. Riverdale, would you like to steal? Time. Aurora is what we were looking for there. This geologic era is sometimes called the Age of Mammals. Identify this era that scientists believe began approximately 65 million years ago with the death of the dinosaurs. That would be Riverdale. Sam.
The Mesozoic?
Incorrect. Lake, would you like to steal? Time. I'm sorry, I called time. Cenozoic era is what we were looking for there. The foot of a ladder is resting 6 feet from a wall, while the top of the ladder is 8 feet above the ground. How long in feet? That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
10 feet.
10 feet. That's how long that ladder is, yes. This type of wetland is characterized by trees that are not observed in a marsh. Identify this wetland found commonly. That would be Lake. Nathan.
Swamp.
Swamp, yes. When Edward III invaded France in 1337 in his quest to become the heir of France's Capetian dynasty, which lengthy war ensued? That would be Lake. Tim.
The 100 Years' War?
We accept that? Yes. During the Middle Ages, this term that begins with the letter V was used to refer to landholders who pledged allegiance to their lords. That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Vassals.
Vassals is correct. Developed in England in the 15th and 16th centuries, named this architectural style that represents the final development of medieval architecture. That would be Riverdale. Sam.
Baroque.
Incorrect. Final development of medieval architecture and is characterized by half timbering, oriel windows, and ornate chimney stacks. Lake, would you like to steal? That would be Abby.
Gothic.
Incorrect. Tutor. Tutor is what we were looking for there. In which fictional work by Kurt Vonnegut, does the polymorph of water called Ice Nine kill? That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Cat's Cradle.
Cat's Cradle is correct. How would this sentence, quote, give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world, end quote, be classified according to its purpose? That would be Lake. Abby.
Declarative?
Incorrect. Riverdale, would you like to steal? Time. Imperative is what we were looking for there. Which American author received a law degree from the University of Mississippi in 1981 and published his first novel, A Time to Kill, in 1988? That would be Lake. Emily.
Henry James.
Incorrect. Riverdale, would you like to steal? Time. John Grisham is what we were looking for there. What is the name of the heavenly body that from 1930 until 2006 was classified as a planet? That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Pluto.
Pluto, but is now considered just a dwarf planet. Poor Pluto. In economics, which noun that begins with the letters DE is used to describe the situation that occurs when the value of a country's currency is lowered? That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Devaluation.
Devaluation, yes. Identify the forerunner of the modern machine gun first used during the Civil War. That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
The Gatling gun.
Gatling gun, yes. Identify the typographical character that is shaped like a star. That would be Riverdale. Sam.
Asterisk.
Excuse me?
Asterisk.
Can we accept that? We can accept that, yes. This Anglo-Saxon epic poem, King Hrothgar's people, that would be Riverdale. Sam.
Beowulf.
Beowulf, yes. Name the desert plants that are protected by sharp bristles, and that would be Lake. Nathan.
Cacti.
Cacti, yes. This word designates a state of emotional and physical strain resulting from demands in the environment. That would be Lake. Nathan.
Stress.
Stress, yes. No one's feeling stressed during this championship round, I hope. Which American author is well known for his surprise endings? His short stories include The Ransom of Red Chief and The Gift of the... That would be Riverdale. Sam.
O. Henry.
O. Henry, yes. If the volume of a cube is 64 cubic meters, what is the length of an edge? That would be Lake. Tim.
4 meters.
4 meters, yes. Marcel Duchamp first suggested this artistic term in 1931 as an application of sculpture. It has been further popularized by the creations of Alexander Calder. Identify, that would be Lake. Abby.
Mobiles.
Mobile, yes, correct. Give both the name and number of the King of England whose nickname was Longshanks and who ruled during the 13th, that would be Riverdale. Wyatt.
Edward I.
Edward I, yes. End of round. Let's take a look at our score. Well, the finale is living up to the hypes because we have Riverdale and Lake tied right now at 100 points apiece. Anything can happen. Stick around. The head-to-head round is coming up next. And welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. We have quite the competition. We have Riverdale and Lake tied at 100 points apiece as we move into the head-to-head round. Now, before we do get to that, Riverdale, you have a substitution. Wyatt, who's now joining the team?
We have Ben down at the end, and he is a freshman.
All right, welcome to Ben, and Lake is sticking with their lineup. This is indeed the head-to-head round. All questions in this round are 10 points. Again, there is no deduction for an incorrect answer, so if you think you know it, I say go for it. You may not, however, confer. This is the head-to-head round. You may not confer in this round, but you can steal a question in this round. It will go Abby versus Wyatt, then Tim versus Sam, then Nathan versus Andrew, and then Emily versus Ben. Abby, Wyatt, here we go. Among the halogen family, this chemical element is the heaviest. Identify this element of which small amounts are found in uranium ores. That would be Lake. Abby.
Plutonium.
Incorrect. Riverdale. Wyatt, would you like to steal?
Francium.
You need to buzz in, please. Wyatt.
Francium.
Incorrect. Astatine is what we needed there. We now go to Tim versus Sam. Complete this analogy. Biology is the study of life, as blank is to the study of animals. That would be
Riverdale.
Sam.
Paleontology.
Incorrect, and also going to call time. And Lake, would you like to steal? That would be Tim.
I don't know.
Incorrect. Good guesses on both sides. Zoology is what we were looking for there. We now go to Nathan versus Andrew. With which 20th century war would one associate Operation Frequent Wind, Operation Rolling Thunder, and the Tet Offensive? That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Vietnam.
Vietnam, yes. We now go to Emily versus Ben. During the 9th century, this Anglo-Saxon king defeated the Vikings both at sea and on land. Name this leader. Time. Alfred the Great is what we were looking for there. We now go to Abby versus Wyatt again. Identify the noun beginning with the letter H that identifies a system of people or things ranked one. That would be Lake. Abby.
Hierarchy.
Hierarchy, yes. We now go to Tim versus Sam. In Hugh Lofting's Dr. Dolittle, what was the name of the parrot who taught Dr. Dolittle the animal language? That would be Riverdale. Sam.
Jim.
Incorrect. Lake. Tim, would you like to steal? Tim.
Skittles.
Incorrect. Again, both good answers, but not quite right. Polynesia is what we were looking for there. We now go to Nathan versus Andrew. In the science lab, what glass receptacle is used to hold, measure, and pour liquids? That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Beaker.
Beaker, yes. We now go to Emily versus Ben. In the Third Crusade, which king of England? End of round. Let's take a look at our score. We have Riverdale now with 120 points and Lake with 110 points. Still anybody's game. Quite the competition as we move to the category round, and that's coming up next. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. Still a very, very close game. We have Lake with 110 points and Riverdale in the lead with just 10 points as we move into our category round. Before we do that, Riverdale has another substitution, so I'm going to check in with Wyatt, who is back with us.
We have Aaron returning down at the end, and he's a freshman.
All right, welcome back to Aaron. This is indeed the category round. This is where power shifts a little bit to our teams. There are 6 categories to choose from. Inside each category are questions worth 10, 15, 20, 25, and then 30 points. But I must warn you, teams, you can lose those same number of points with an incorrect answer. You may confer in this round, and you can steal a question in this round. Lake, since you have 110 points, you get to make the first selection.
We're going to try geography.
Geography for 10 points. Correctly identify associated with the study of geography. Country that is home to the magnificent Taj Mahal. That would be Lake. Nathan.
India.
India is correct. And sticking with Lake.
Geography, please.
Geography for 15 now. Largest inland sea in the world. That would be Lake. Nathan.
Black Sea.
Incorrect. Riverdale, would you like to steal? That would be Sam. Riverdale.
Caspian Sea.
Caspian Sea. And control shifts to Riverdale.
Let's do famous ships and planes.
Famous ships and planes for 10 points. I will read a description of a famous ship or plane. You are to identify the specific vehicle described. The first letter of each correct response will be provided. Name of the U.S. President's personal plane. That would be Riverdale. Wyatt.
Air Force One.
Air Force One is correct. And Riverdale stays in control of the board.
Famous ships and planes again.
Famous ships and planes now for 15 points. Howard Hughes, famous wooden airplane. That would be Riverdale. Wyatt.
The Hercules.
Incorrect. Oh, yes. Can we accept that? Yes, we will accept that. And Riverdale still in control of the board.
Let's do famous ships and planes again.
Famous ships and planes for 20 points. Charles Lindbergh's plane, that would be Riverdale. Wyatt.
The Spirit of St. Louis.
Spirit of St. Louis, yes. Riverdale still in control of the board.
Let's do Native Americans for 10.
Native Americans for 10. Identify each person, place, or idea from Native American history. League of Native American Tribes, that would be Lake. Abby.
The Iroquois Confederacy.
Iroquois, yes. And Lake takes control of the board.
Geography, potpourri.
Geography for 20 points now. South American nation that is home to the Iguazu Falls. Time. Argentina is what we needed there. Lake still in control of the board.
Let's try what's next.
What's next, our image category? What's next in this sequence? That would be Riverdale. Wyatt.
G.
Incorrect. Lake, would you like to steal? That would be Lake. Tim.
J.
J is correct. And Lake controls the board.
What's next?
What's next for 15? Take a look at this image. What's next in this sequence? That would be Lake. Tim.
62.
62 is correct. Lake still in control of the board.
What's next?
What's next now for 20? What's next in this sequence? That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
30.
Incorrect. Lake, would you like to steal? That would be Emily.
38.
38 is correct. Lake still in control of the board and takes the lead.
What's next?
What's next for 25 points? What's next in this sequence? That would be Lake. Tim.
I-80.
I-80 is correct. Lake still in control of the board.
Types of numbers.
Types of numbers for 10. Based on the given description, identify the type of number described. Adjective that begins with B, which describes numbers found in computer science that only use, that would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Binary.
Binary is correct. And Riverdale takes control of the board.
Famous ships and planes for 25.
Famous ships and planes now for 25 points. Large German dirigible that exploded in Lakehurst, that would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Hindenburg.
Hindenburg is correct. And Riverdale ties Lake.
Famous ships and planes for 30.
Famous ships and planes for 30 points. Ship that serves as the World War II memorial in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The letter, that would be Riverdale. Wyatt.
The Arizona.
Arizona is correct. End of that category. Riverdale takes the lead and controls the board.
Short story authors.
Short story authors for 10. Identify the author of each of the following well-known short stories. Billy Budd. Time. That would be Herman Melville. Riverdale still controls the board.
Short stories.
Short stories authors for 15. The celebrated jumping frog, that would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Twain.
We can accept that, yes, Mark Twain. Riverdale still controls the board.
Native Americans.
Native Americans for 15 points. Native American group that made its home in Canyon de Chelly. Time. Navajo is what we were looking for there. Riverdale still controls the board.
Native Americans.
Native Americans now for 20 points. Principal animal hunted by the Plains people, that would be Riverdale. Wyatt.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, yes. Riverdale still in control.
Types of numbers.
Types of numbers for 15. A number that designates the position in a sequence such as first, second, third, that would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Ordinal.
Ordinal, yes. Riverdale still controls the board.
Short story authors.
Short story authors now for 20 points. The Mask of the Red Death, that would be Lake. Tim.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe, and Lake takes control of the board.
What's next?
What's next? Final in the image category. What's next in this sequence? That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
34.
34 is correct, yes. And Riverdale stays control of the board.
Ooh, types of numbers.
Types of numbers for 20. A number that can be expressed as more than two factors. That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Not prime.
Time. Lake. Tim.
Composite.
Composite, yes. Lake still controls the board now.
Geography.
Geography for 25. U.S. state that is home to the Painted Desert. That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Arizona.
Arizona is correct. And Riverdale takes control of the board.
Geography 30.
Geography for 30. Deepest and oldest freshwater lake in the world. That would be Lake Abbey.
Lake Superior.
Incorrect. Riverdale, would you like to steal? Time. Lake Baikal is what we were looking for there. Riverdale in control of the board.
Native Americans.
Native Americans for 25. Storytelling structures of Northwest Native, that would be Lake. Tim.
Totem poles.
Totem poles, yes. And he gets the points just at the end of the round. Let's take a look at our score. We have Lake with 220 points. I'm sorry? Lake with 220 points. Riverdale with 300 points. Still anybody's game. The brainstorm round is coming up next. And welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. As we move to the brainstorm round, it is still anybody's game. Lake has 220 points and Riverdale has 300 points. But before we get to the brainstorm round, we have another substitution with Riverdale. Who has joined us again?
We have Ben back down at the end.
All right, welcome back to Ben, and Lake is staying with their original lineup as we move to the brainstorm round. All questions in this round are worth 20 points, but I must warn you, an incorrect answer results in negative 20 points. You may confer before buzzing in, and you cannot, let me repeat that again, you cannot steal a question in this round. Now, we are in a potential tiebreaker situation here. Just so you know, if we do need to go to a tiebreaker round, we will. And you must win with a correct answer in a tiebreaker round if that's the case. All right, Lake, Riverdale, 2 minutes and 30 seconds starts right now. Which shiny bluish white element is used to galvanize iron and steel and combines with copper to make brass? Its chemical symbol is Zn. That would be Lake. Tim.
Zinc.
Zinc is correct. In the periodic table of elements, which metal is found between indium and antimony? That would be, yes. Time. Tin is what we're looking for there. What family is missing from the following list of snakes? Vipers, pit vipers, coral snakes. That would be Lake. Nathan.
Pythons?
Incorrect. Cobras. All are poisonous snakes. Astronomers can use which principle beginning with the letter P to calculate the distance to any star within 1,000? That would be Riverdale. Andrew.
Parallax?
Parallax is correct. In economics, which animal's name is used to describe a stock market with rising prices? That would be Lake. Tim.
Bull.
Bull is correct. Which hominin is the adjective, as an adjective can mean correct, or as a noun can indicate a religious or other ceremony? That would be Lake. Tim.
Right.
Right is correct. In Greek mythology, he was the god of fire and the forge, and that would be Riverdale. Sam.
Hephaestus?
Hephaestus is correct. Identify the colony that banished Roger Williams prior to its founding, Rhode Island. Time. Massachusetts. This American author created the characters Uncas and Hawkeye in his tales. That would be Riverdale. Sam.
Cooper?
Cooper is correct. Name the current Attorney General of the United States. Time. Jeff Sessions. To which biological order do both cats and dogs belong? That would be Lake. Tim.
Mammalia.
Incorrect. Carnivores. What river runs through Shreveport, Louisiana? That would be Lake. Tim.
Mississippi.
Incorrect. Red River. According to Alfred Lloyd Tennyson, what was the ultimate destination of the 600? That would be Lake. Tim.
Death.
Can we accept that? Yes, we can accept that. End of round. Let's take a look at our score. We have Lake with 240 points, and our winner and champion is Riverdale with 360 points. Let's give both these teams a big round of applause. Congratulations to Riverdale. Lake, thank you so much for a great final round competition. Now, in the spirit of good sportsmanship, let's meet in the middle and shake hands and stick around. The trophy ceremony is coming up next. And welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. We are with our champions. Let's hear it for them, everybody. That's right, it is Riverdale. It's time to get some medals to our team, but before we do that, this is Karen. She is our charming and talented judge for this season, and she is also a former contestant on Jeopardy. Karen, thank you for all that you do, and let's hand out some medals. What do you say? First, we come to Wyatt, the coach, or not the coach, but the team captain. Let's hear it for Wyatt, everybody. Come on. Ben's came in, he subbed a couple times. Let's hear it for Ben. Yeah. We have brother Sam to Wyatt. Let's hear it for him. Let's hear it, everybody. Yeah. And we have Aaron, another sub came in to clutch time. Let's hear it for Aaron. And finally, Andrew of the students. Let's hear it for him. Let's hear it for Andrew. And let's not forget Coach, and she also goes by another name, and that is Mom to Wyatt and Sam. Let's hear it for Riverdale, everybody. All right, it is time for the moment that you've been waiting for. The trophy of BGSU's Brain Game. Take it and own it. Come on, own that thing, everybody. Hold that thing high. All right, team, go ahead, celebrate a little bit. Yeah. Now it's time for the obvious question. What does it feel like to be champions? Anyone, what do you have to say?
It feels great. I'm having butterflies in my stomach all day.
Coach, you're champion now. What does this mean for your team? And what does it mean to you, your students, your team, your school?
This means an awful lot. I think what it means most to me and to the boys is that they work really hard at Quiz Bowl, and they do it privately in front of me and a couple of parents. And they just won the championship in front of the whole Northwest Ohio community. So that's pretty exciting to see the boys get their due in front of people and let them be out there to shine.
All right, let's talk about the game a little bit. Going into it, Lake scored first. How did that make you guys feel?
It was terrifying. Awful.
Yeah, describe it. Describe it.
It was terrifying.
What was going through your mind?
We were done.
Really?
Not quite. Right now.
So you ended up. It was tied. We were tied at 100 points apiece as we went into the head-to-head round. Now you guys made a substitution. Coach, anybody on the team? What was your thinking there with that substitution?
My thinking with my substitution is I have two freshmen, and they're really, really bright, both of them, and they have very different skill sets, and I have no idea what kind of questions you have, so I roll the dice, and we switch them out and hope for the best.
Okay, now Ben, you came in. How did you feel at that time coming in that tied moment? It's like 100 to 100, you're coming in the head-to-head round.
I was very nervous, I'll say that. After the first question, I was even more nervous because I had no clue what it was, but that got over the initial chills and all that, so I was good after that.
Okay, great. Now, so we move now to the category round. Now, that's the round where things kind of change a little bit. You guys have the ability to have control. Now, Lake, you guys were in the lead at that point, but Lake had the first choice. Now, Aaron, you came in as a sub for that. You saw the categories. What were you thinking? Something I like, something I don't like?
I was interested in the planes and ships because that's a good history category for me.
Is it? So let's talk about that. What does it feel like, first of all, when you see a category that you have no idea about? What are you thinking about that? What's your strategy with that?
Well, I got to throw in here because I watched these games and didn't realize till after they'd played at least one that they had a really good strategy, which was if they had no idea and after the first question they thought the other team had no idea and they were ahead, that was their go-to category if they needed it.
So
I think it's called a time killer.
Good observation and a great strategy with the game. How does that change your guys' strategy? Because sometimes people are quick on the buzzer, not so quick on the buzzer. How do you approach that now once you start losing points?
You got to be more cautious.
We've been working on that a lot recently. In practice, it's basically all just drill, look for that sweet spot when it's been revealed, but it's still a good toss-up on who's going to get it.
Now, going into the brainstorm round, you guys had you had a lead, but in the brainstorm round where you can lose 20 points, it was not that much. You guys kept playing. You guys were continued to answer questions. Talk to me about that confidence and that willingness as a champion to continue to play and not sit back.
I think it's the mindset that if we're to win, we want to be the ones that won it. We don't want them to lose. We want to win for ourselves and not have to rely on them.
Yeah, especially in that last round, we were only ahead by 4, so if we would have just sat back, they could have very easily overcome us.
Yeah, they were a really good team, and it's not like they're going to miss a whole lot of questions. So we had to keep it up, otherwise we were going to lose.
Now, Sam, Wyatt, Coach, there's a little bit of history here that I think that we need to talk about, and that is that you had a brother and a son that was in Brain Game how many years ago in the championship round?
2012.
2012, and went home, unfortunately, a little short.
Last question of the game.
Last
they lost
question.
5 to Maumee Valley Country Day. The last question of the game, yeah.
How does it feel now? And gentlemen, what are you going to say to your brother?
It's indescribable how great I feel right now.
Big brother is pretty legendary in Quiz Bowl in our area, so yeah, I'm sure this feels pretty good for little brothers.
Yeah. And speaking of that, it seems like that Riverdale was considered a little bit of an underdog coming into this. Talk about that a little bit and about what you did as a team to maybe put that aside and just focused on what you had to do.
I don't think we really ever think of ourselves as an underdog. I think we think of going to every game, even if it's against, say, Findlay, like in the semifinal. Even though they're way, way bigger than us, it's 4-on-4, and we try to be the best that we can, and we know that if we're our best, that no one can beat us.
Now, Coach, kind of just tell us about this team. Tell us about the journey from the start of this process to this trophy right here. What have you seen out of this group of people?
I don't know how far you want me to go back. These boys have been friends since they were little. They've been doing things. They're scouts together. It's interesting. I had them as junior high quiz bowlers, and they've moved up to high school. And it's interesting to see the dynamics because they're all really bright. They're all really inquisitive, so they know lots of random facts just because they went out and found out when they wanted to know an answer. And so I have a lot of random knowledge going on here. And through the year, I've seen them say to each other, well, let's count on Aaron for this. Let's count on Ben for that. Sam has been brushing up on his lit. I have not wanted to step into that and assign them because it's their own time. So it's kind of interesting how they've worked out the dynamics of, hey, we know a lot of this general stuff. We all know a lot of history. Here's our math boy. Where are we going to maybe do a little bit of work to sharpen up our team? And they've done the work themselves, and it's exciting to see how it's turned out.
Now, who is our senior in the group?
Me.
So Wyatt, you're leaving the team now, moving on to the next thing in your journey. What do you want to say to your team for next year?
Just continue on with how you're doing. I think we've won everything but maybe one tournament, so I'm pretty pleased with how we're going. Just keep rolling.
Does that feel like a little bit of pressure, guys?
Hey.
Nah.
As sophomores and freshmen.
By definition, it's pressure.
Real quick, what are some of your guys' favorite moments and memories from the season? Any particular questions or a moment that stands out? I mean, because you guys have had quite a journey to get to this point.
There were a couple different times in the different category rounds throughout each game that we'd play, and that seemed to be one of our better rounds. And so sometimes we came in from behind, sometimes we were ahead by a little, but it seemed that whenever we would come out of that round, we were up by quite a few. And so that was a real confidence booster, and I really liked those rounds.
Coach, any final words for your team as we wrap things up?
Just couldn't be more proud of them. I think they conduct themselves as gentlemen everywhere we go. I think they couldn't represent our school any better. I know I'm a little bit biased, but congratulations, gentlemen. You certainly represent Riverdale well.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your BGSU Brain Game champions, Riverdale. Let's hear it for them, everybody. We want to give a big thank you to all of our students and teams and coaches and the entire BGSU Brain Game crew for a fantastic season. And we want to thank you, that's right, you, the audience, for joining us and playing games with us in some epic brain game battles. And we will see you at the next BGSU brain game. Let's hear it one more time for Riverdale. Hold that trophy high.